Hello once again, audience, and welcome to another edition of Hey Hi Tech Talks. Woo! I'm your host, Zach, with my friend here and co-host, Jordan Tate. Excuse my voice, feeling a little bit under the weather these past couple of weeks, and it's been getting the worst of me here lately. So I'm here to push on, though, for your entertainment. So anyways, I was scrolling around on the internet and found out something pretty interesting, something I've never even heard of before. This thing called Yik Yak. Now, it's been coming around all over the U.S. It's, how would I describe it? It's a cross between Snapchat and Twitter. I don't know if anybody has used it before. It's, like I said, it's only been around for about 4 months. It's starting to become somewhat popular in college campuses because it's aimed for college groups, college classes, people who go to the same colleges. It was originally how Facebook started out, where when you first got on, you'd sign up which college you went to. You could find people at your college, become friends with them, talk to them, join their groups, meet people from other colleges. But this is, it uses more of a GPS satellite type system to where it only locks on to your specific area. Now, the way it's set up right now, it's supposed to be for only college students. They haven't made a other version. As far as I know, this is a free app, so feel free to use it. There's a problem when it comes to using this. When you sign up, give your username. It's almost like Omegle, to where it's random chat based, but it's a big group of people. Everyone can talk, and sort of like Twitter. If you post something and it gets enough downvotes, or if it gets flagged enough times, they can take it down. But since a lot of people are like very bad people in the world, a lot of times some things don't get flagged. Talking about some very terrible things, the founder of this app, Yik Yak, actually was talking to someone from CNN and said that something that was red flagged several times. A girl was raped and they were making jokes about it on this application, Yik Yak. That's not okay. It's definitely not okay. Bomb threats have been made. Schools have been getting shut down for bomb searches. Kids have been getting expelled for these kind of things. But that's only because they gave their actual name in the username. Now, if someone said their username was Big Joe 123 and there's no student at the school named Joe, they can't get that kid in trouble. I mean, sure, they can see him on the account Big Joe, but that doesn't mean that it was him that said it. So currently, right now, they are trying to get privacy settings for this application to where you can have a underage version to where no harmful things can be said. I mean, I don't have the best vocabulary. I keep it clean for this show, but every now and then I let a swear word slip, but I don't do it when I'm around people at school, when I'm in school, only because I try to keep it professional. Outside of school, it's just, I grew up around swearing, so every now and again I do swear when I'm talking about something. If I'm passionate about it, I may say a bad word. But what they're trying to do is an uncensored version for 18 plus, because they're big kids, they can handle their own stuff. If you're in college, I mean, you should be able to at least. Then again, not all people can. And then a censored version for under that. But because that takes a lot of work trying to get these two different Yik Yaks set up, and you can still lie about your age regardless. If you do lie about your age, then you have to sync this account up to your Facebook. So that way it'll show in your activities and such that you use Yik Yak. It will read your age on Facebook, and unless you take the time to go and change your age on Facebook and then make this fake Yik Yak account to say something, and then as soon as you sign up, it will say something along the lines of no, sorry, something happened, the app's not going to work for you now. And then the app gets permanently locked. No one's allowed to use it. So, as far as I can tell with this Yik Yak app, it's honestly, when it started out, it had good intentions. I mean, no pictures being posted, nothing inappropriate. It was just a couple of bad kids ruined it for everybody. I mean, what do you think about it?
Well, I think it sucks.
Thank you, audience member.
Yeah.
How do you feel, Jordan?
I feel like that was a lot of information to process.
I could see you staring into the distance,
I was.
not zoning out, figuring out what I just said.
Not thinking about what you just said at all. What is social media, you know, has its ups and downs with, you know, bullying, cyberbullying, blah blah blah. It's just a bad thing. But you know, great things can come of it too. So hopefully they can fix their bugs and you know it can be a useful.
You know, honestly, after we get done with this video cast, I'm gonna download Yik Yak and try it out. I just want to see what it's like, to see if maybe if it comes back in the future, if it could be anything interesting really. Before I started with my current East group, we started working with the Oculus. Right before that, I wanted to make a group-based like messaging service, sort of like Yik Yak, to where you'd have your administrator, the teacher, for example, in your group, and then invite a couple other people into the group to work on your project. It'd be a really good idea. Let's say if there's somebody in your class that you don't like you despise them and they despise you, and you really don't want to give them your phone number, but you have to work with them and like talk to them outside of school to figure stuff out. You just join this little texting group where it gives everybody bogus numbers, and you can message each other through that. So. I mean, Yik Yak kind of like took that to an extreme, really, and made it a whole like nationwide thing.
So you just basically explain Kik.
Yeah, well, Kik's different.
Kik is.
Kik's been around for a while.
Exactly.
I'm meaning something that was just strictly for school use. Like no pictures, you couldn't send pictures, so it was kind of like Yik Yak in a sense.
Hey, man, whatever you want, Zach.
I'm right, Jordan.
All right.
But rape isn't right. So anyways, now to Cody, out in the field.
Thank you very much, Zach, for turning it over to me. I'm not really going to talk about news, but something that I found really interesting by watching Vsauce, which there'll be a link below on what it talks about. Currently, there's going to be a question. Do you know what happens if you fall into a black hole?
I don't, Cody. Why don't you tell me what happens if I fall into a black hole?
I will, but first we need to know what causes a black hole. A black hole is when a star loses what makes it a star and collapses in on itself because nothing's holding it up anymore, thus causing a giant mass of gravity. For instance, if you were to have a three-dimensional grid of planets and their gravity, you'd find out that time and space bends around them. For instance, if you hold up the light, in figure 1 we have what a black hole does to light. So for instance, this star is a star, of course, and this is Earth, and there's a black hole in the center. So what we see is the light going either around or through the black hole and then getting swallowed up, thus giving us an obscured image of what the star looks like. Also, the same thing with planets. If a planet was orbiting a black hole before it was eventually sucked in, we would see that as it went behind the black hole, we would have a skewed planet. This is because of what is called a Hawking radiation, which shows that gravity is so intense that inside a black hole that it begins to swallow up light, thus making things skewed. So now back to the main question. Now that we know what happened to the black hole, what would happen if you were to fall in? Well, there's many different theories on what happens. One main theory is, as you were to fall in, if you hold up the second.
If you would hold that,
I would definitely slide this over
and
here.
I will definitely hold this one up.
Okay, in this one, this little stick figure, we'll call him K. He is going towards this black hole.
Cody, can we call him George?
We'll call him George.
Okay.
Okay. George is going towards this black hole, and Anna is observing him. As he gets closer and closer to the black hole, he will eventually slow down because time and space begins to slow because of the immense gravity being pushed on him. So instead of him being sucked in like other people would thought would happen to you, he actually slows down through the observer's point of view. Through your point of view, you're still going the same speed. However, many seconds, even to many hours will go by depending on how big this is. Eventually what will happen is you will begin to fade away and then eventually disappear. Like so. This is when he passes, yeah, poor George.
Poor George.
This is when he passes the event horizon. The event horizon on a black hole is the place where you cannot get out of no matter how hard you try. This is where light disappears. But as you hit the event horizon, you'll see light begin to orbit it. So for instance, if you were to look forward and there would be a black hole, you'd actually be able to see the back of your head momentarily because of light spinning so fast around this black hole that the light reflecting off the back of your head will be in the front of your head.
Oh, I don't like that.
It'd be really weird.
That's freaky.
Yes. Now, what happens as you get closer to the singularity? For instance, this screw here represents the singularity of a black hole. This is where all the gravity condenses to. Before you even reach this, you begin to feel a lot of pain. This is many hours that you've been inside this black hole. And this is because your molecules are being stretched apart like Laffy Taffy. And then eventually strewn about before you even reach the singularity. Once you reach the singularity, you're gone. There's nothing left of you. No remains of George.
George.
Poor George.
Poor George.
Now there's another theory that is out there that if a black hole is large enough and spinning at the right speed, you wouldn't actually get hurt in any way, but you'd be transported to a parallel universe, or as other people like to call them, wormholes. So in this paper right here, we can see that there's point A and point B. Now it would take us many years to get from point A to point B because it's so far out there. However, what if, say, there was a black hole at point A and we were to get sucked into it? Some theorists believe that time and space would do this, thus allowing point A and point B to touch one another, thus allowing you to go to point B a lot quicker, if not instantaneously. Basically, as like she said, folding space and time to the point of where you can get past it. And that is what would happen if you were to fall through a black hole. Now I'll turn it over to Jordan for his news.
Thank you, Cody. That was some interesting science. As I continue on with science, I have been researching into Buckeye Paper Industries, and as this one man quoted, working with a material 10 times lighter than steel but 250 times stronger would be an amazing feat. So basically what Buckeye Paper is, it is a composite material of nano tubules, which is just amazing. As you heard, it's 250 times stronger than steel, but it is extremely light. If exposed to an electric charge, Buckeye Paper could be used to illuminate computer and television screens. It would be more energy efficient, lighter, and would allow for more uniform level of brightness than current crystal display technologies. Because it has an unusually high current carrying capacity, a film made from Buckeye Paper Company could be applied to the exteriors of airplanes. Lightning strikes would then hit the airplane and would dissipate around it, making sure that no damage was done to any electronics. Also encasing electronics in computers and other other electronic devices can protect them from electromagnetic pulses. It is just astounding. You can look it up, go to videos, we can put some videos in the comment section below. Buckeye Paper Industries, and also they're applying it to cars, so apparently it can harness the sunlight and turn it into a renewable source of energy. This is the very forefront of a technological revolution that will dramatically change the way items all around us are produced today. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Zach, and I have one quick announcement. Not The Last of Us, sorry, that is Watch Dogs. My apologies. Watch Dogs is coming out May 27th, and Titanfall actually came out yesterday, I believe it was. So that is your gaming segment since Cody was out in the field today. And I am your host, Zach.
And co-host Jordan, and this will conclude another episode of Hey Hi Tech Talks.
Goodbye, everybody.